Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Garalith is saying hello as well. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and we are back in Mâkhda, ready to continue at long last with the story. I know once again you wouldn't notice a big difference, but for me it's been over a month in between these two episodes, just because I've been really busy and I didn't have the chance of going into the raid until very recently. And so yeah, I think there are a few things I might need a refresher on, but well, that's beyond the point. Now, before I forget, something that really doesn't affect the series that much, and I don't remember when this was initially included, it was not on update 39.0, but here you have some travel skills that are so much welcomed. So I already got the master, as you can see in here, so that way you can come back here to barter for your items and to get your weekly without having to actually ride all the way here every single time. That's a nice quality of life improvement that really does make a difference. Now, we gotta go back to Corudan and Azagath, which, if you'll remember, they are right outside the Mâkhda Khorbo. I mean, we really didn't need to come here to this town as part of the series because, well, you can just join the raid from anywhere, but I thought it would be nice to basically go to the actual entrance of the raid. And the upside, the good thing about that is the master. I wouldn't have discovered the master otherwise, I don't think, or it would have taken me a little bit longer. Anyway, something else you might also notice is I've gotten better gear since last episode, well, not last episode, but the one before, 258. And so, looking a little bit better than I was before. I still need to work on my DPS build, actually. It's not looking as bad maybe, but it still needs a lot of work, especially because I haven't updated my allies yet for DPS. And that is because I am still waiting until I can get a couple more gold tokens, because there are some traceries I am okay with having on teal, but some other traceries you really need to have them at gold. So I just want to make sure I have enough gold tokens before I get to that. And that also gives me the chance of accumulating some more script boxes, because I might need a couple more of those. Not entirely sure how much ancient script you need to fully update a set of allies. So yeah, I don't want to risk it. Oh boy, I forgot something really important as well. That is the fact that I'm running on landscape difficulty, because in between episode 258 and running the raid and then coming back to recording, I stopped using the landscape difficulty. So I might need some extra adjustment on that regard. Anyways, here we are back with Azagath and Corudan. You will remember that the raid is supposed to take place in between a dialogue between these two. And that dialogue will end chapter 8.2. So let us refresh that one, and that will help me as well to get back into the flow, so to speak. So after completing the raid comes this: my sister's thoughts dwell upon the evils that might lie within the Mâkhda Khorbo, but I need not see them to know that a corruption lies within the very heart of the Kindred of the Coins. But Azagath is well loved by his people. Do the folk of Umbar Baharbêl know that he has betrayed them? It's a very good question, Corudan, and I guess now it's time for us to find the answer.
I do not know which it will be.
Sometimes word travels slowly, and on other occasions it can spread faster than wildfire. Will you return to the upper and lower wards of the city and learn what people are saying about Azagath, Belondor and Nakási? If tongues walk, as I think they will, rumor that these leaders of the Kindred fled beneath the Mâkhda Khorbo in search of some evil will not be gladly received. At least, I hope it will not. Begin your search in the upper ward, for it is nearer. Yeah, sure. But before we go back to the upper ward, to the city itself, something that I didn't know when I was recording episode 258, otherwise I would have done it then, is that as you advance through chapter 8 of the new epic, you will unlock a couple of side quests with some of the NPCs that you meet along the way. And here we have the first one of them with Rukân.
You came back to help.
I did not know if I should wait for you or if you would forget we needed you. I spoke to you of the pestilence that lately troubled Khûtra, inflicting famine upon the folk of the Cape. It seemed it must abate, but the fish that remain our livelihood still wash up on the shore, dead. Will you examine some of these recent corpses for me? It may be that you will notice something I have not. There are dead fish along the shore to the southwest. So you will unlock this quest after you complete chapter 8.2, which technically just happens now after finishing the raid, but you will remember I completed chapter 8.2 on episode 258. If I had known about the side quests, I would have done that as I was going to the entrance of the Mâkhda Khorbo, but I didn't know. So now is the time for us to do that. And again, another set of these quests will unlock from other NPCs as we advance through the epic. But for the time being, we can only do this one. That's what we shall. Now maybe I should be doing that because, well, landscape difficulty and all, but let me see if I can just outrun this guy. And yeah, call it a day. Thank you. Okay, there is a VIP boost event, it seems. Which, I mean, I don't need the extra XP right now, but I would very much appreciate it if we could get some extra virtue XP. Oh, redstone, awesome. Because I have also, by running dailies and all that, leveled up most of my virtues. I'm just missing 5 of them. I need to level them all up, basically. So that's still a lot of work, and the upcoming virtue increase is just a few weeks away, but... well, eventually, I'm sure I will be able to get them all. Do we need to fight this crab? Yeah. And I remembered these crabs being quite tough. The wounds are something else, really. Hopefully by the time I finally get to update my allies, I will see a difference. Seems reasonable to expect that, right? You retrieve a hook of unpleasant design from the mouth of this dead fish. Oh, is it? Okay, okay. Back to Rukân it is. Well, I guess it is actually Rukân by the accent mark at the A. But you know, I've never been that good at names. I'm also having some tea because on one hand it's really cold today, having a hard time staying warm, but on the other hand I've also been sick the last few days, and the tea makes me feel better. It's digestive issues. You don't want the details really, but the tea is an improvement for sure. Now that I'm back at landscape difficulty, I am not entirely sure how many heroes marks I have. Tokens of heroism, actually. I need 15 more to be able to... Well, not be able... I already can turn some of those tasks in, but you know, I like to turn all 3 at once. So that means I still need 15 of them to be able to do that. For a moment there, I thought I had avoided those spirits. Shame. I gotta say, I'm really excited being back, recording and all, at long last. Especially because, as of the time of recording this, we are having a preview of Update 40 really soon. And that will give us a new chapter of the Song of Waves and Wind. So I don't wanna fall behind.
Find anything to explain why these fish are dying?
You hand the small metal hook of unpleasant design to Rukân. She eyes the curved metal loops and sharp points with the states. Are these tentacles? She asks. She shakes her head. Some fashioned this hook in the style of a terrible creature of the sea. Let us hope they did not see it with their own eyes, and this design is the product of a vivid imagination. See how it glistens? I think this metal is coated with some sort of poison. Take care not to touch it. I think the fish that are snared with hooks such as these are slain by the poison and carried by the waves onto the shore. But no one should eat any fish that are caught in this fashion. Find my neighbor Bodo on the other side of Khûtra and tell him what we have discovered. Well, thank God that we have the master right now. This makes things a lot easier. Because, well, this master wasn't available when last time I was here, but I think this is also... This quest also serves the purpose of having the players actually revisit this portion of the cape so that you have another reason to go back to these villages. I mean, Mâkhda is on the way to Khûtra, so yeah, might as well go into the raid, see what it's all about, see that the tentacles on this hook are actually shaped after a very real creature, so it seems that whoever fashioned these hooks knew what he or she was doing, and then you bring the news to Khûtra. It seems that's why this quest is in here, if you ask me. So ideally, I think you would come here to the raid, as we have done, then right to Khûtra, and then we'll be able to advance the epic back in the city.
What brings you back to Khûtra, my friend?
You show Bodo the unpleasant hook you found in the mouth of a dead fish on the other side of the village, and he traces a word against evil in the dirt with the grip of his fishing pole. You found another one of those terrible poison hooks? I know they were trouble. I knew they were trouble. We discovered a box of the things up the hill to the northwest. We should have hidden it, or some such work that would have prevented others from stumbling upon it, but we have had so many difficulties of late that it was easier just to put it out of mind. He studies it as carefully as he can without touching the glistening metal. Yes, this is like the others we found. You should climb up to the evil-looking box. To that evil-looking box and make sure the rest of them are still inside. Then we can dispose of it. Yeah, I mean, you should have done that. A long time ago, You should have definitely done that. Major oversight on your part. If the hooks hadn't been poisoned, I could see why you might have just cast them aside, but the hooks are poisoned. Should have known better. Hopefully this hawk will not attack us. Thank you. The grass near the unpleasant box has been trampled by goblins. Oh boy. The box is mostly empty, but a few unpleasant fish hooks like the first one remain inside. I don't know what prospect is worse. someone from the village using those hooks, because you might remember we saw a lady that has some sort of history with evil artifacts in the temple, or just the goblins up to their actual business. Bottom line, we are still recovering the hooks. So I guess in the end it doesn't matter that much. Steel token, awesome. That's the other thing. As of the time of recording this, we are in the middle of the anniversary event. So we can get some cool tokens for goodies and the like. Well, gotta say, the fights are taking longer than they did without the difficulty, of course, but they are not as hard as I remember them to be. Upgrading your gear, of course, makes a difference. Alright, I'm in blue line. Resounding challenge doesn't have a dot component anymore. Well, now that we have finished this raid, I have another question. Because, as you saw on the Mâkhda Khorbo episode, I was just running like I do on all my other episodes with my UI. I mean, with the vitals on one corner and having the screen as free as possible so that you could see potentially all the action. Of course, all the other players and all the floating numbers and all things like that make it a little bit harder for you to see the stuff that I would like you to see, but I still think it works for the most part. But the thing is, I have another UI configuration, and that is tinker more for raiding and grouping, really. You will have your vitals in the center of the screen, and I also have some other plugins active so that I could more easily see the things that I need to see, my buffs and debuffs and stuff like that. So the question is, for the next raid, would you like me to keep going with the vanilla UI? Or would you like me to show you my other UI and the plugins? I mostly run with a combination of gibberish and Prime. It's what I have found out to work better for my taste. But that was before Gibberish 3 was released. So maybe if I take some time to play along with Gibberish 3, I will see if I need to keep combining the two plugins as I have, or if I can move to just using one of them and reduce the load on the system, hopefully. As you see here, I'm already lagging badly. Oh, the freaking I was out on the right. So yeah, I just want your opinion on the matter. What should I do? Of course, without seeing the actual UI that I use, it might be a little bit harder, but I think I don't think you really need to see the UI to make a decision, in the sense that, well, most other raiders runs similar settings, but I think you get the idea, I hope. Or maybe you want me to run with my grouping UI settings so that you can actually see and then compare and then give me the answer. I don't know. Let me know. The thing is, since Update 39 released all instances, but the only instance that had an actual quest tied to it was the raid, I have already recorded all the other instances, but they are not part of the main series. And I also did them with my vanilla UI. But maybe I can record some of those Umbar instances with the other UI and with a full group so that you can get an idea of what I mean. I don't know.
You tracked down the poison fish hooks stolen by the goblins and their corsair allies?
That is very good, my friend. I will return them to the strong box in which they were found, and I will do what I should have done before. I will bury it so deep that none will make use of them again. The folk of Khûtra rely upon the bounty of the sea for our livelihood, and if the fish are poisoned, then so too are we. Return to Rukân beyond the village and tell her we have taken care of the problem. Thank her for sending you back to me as well. You were just the reminder I needed that we should have done something before now. Definitely, there is no reason why you shouldn't have done that before, other than allowing us to take a look at the hooks. I don't know, I have the idea, I have the impression that these hooks will be more relevant later on, who knows. I mean, we still need to discover what the actual Song of Waves and Wind is. Azagath, Flew, Nakási, I'm not so sure. But I mean, as far as I know, she fled to the docks while we fought Belondor. So yeah, we'll need to wait and see what else happens with all this. Another sip of my tea while it's still hot. I'm still a little disappointed about the lack of quests for the other instances. At least the streets should have had another quest. I don't mind that much that the Isles of Storms didn't have another quest. And the arena you can sort of pass, especially if we get some follow-up to all these in update 40. But boy, the streets really needed a quest. So that Hadorian especially could have some closure. Poor guy is just standing there outside the inn. Does he even know what happened to Kasha? I don't think so. That was a little bit disappointing. I mean, after you learn what happened between the creation of all these instances, you kind of get it. It's very similar to what happened in Gundabad and why we didn't get the 6-man in the Drear Spire. In the fact that some people quit. So they were understaffed for this. So they cut corners where they were able to, but still a little bit disappointing. If we could get a quest, even if it's added on a later update, I think it would improve all these a little bit.
Bodo said he would bury the box, so no one else will make use of the poison fish hooks within?
Let us hope he does, and he buries it deep. Things do not always stay buried on the Cape of Umbar. You have seen the death that walk outside the Mâkhda Khorbo, I trust. But I thank you and Bodo for finding the seabed of this problem. May the fish of Khûtra remain unspoiled from this day forth. Yes, please. I'm very happy, I'm very glad to help the villagers of Khûtra so that they don't starve, but this is the second time we help them with their fish, and I understand both issues are related. The first time we went to Khûtra, we found the source of the corruption very near to the Mâkhda Khorbo, and now we have reason to believe these hooks have something to do with the Mâkhda Khorbo as well. But I hope this is truly the end of it because, yeah, we have other issues to attend to, and maybe this is one of those times where you are misled, like this that doesn't seem something that important, something that big, you can overlook because you are focusing on things that are bigger, and then it turns out that this thing that you overlooked was way more important than you thought, and you haven't played. That can happen sometimes. I think LOTRO has done similar things in the past, and on the other hand, I just finished reading the first Mistborn trilogy, Mistborn Era 1, and those books are full of those kind of twists as well. I love them, of course, but yeah, I'm just still in the mindset of those books. I'm actually looking for another one to read. I'm trying to get Warbreaker. I wasn't able to find it on my local bookshop. My local library supposedly has it, but it seems it has disappeared, which is a shame. But yeah, I want to get into Warbreaker and then Stormlight. Really excited to continue reading more Sanderson. Alright, so I think what we should have done was not coming through the Gate of Songs, but actually through the Golden Gate. Because through the Golden Gate, you can start doing all this in a clockwise direction, which works better in my opinion. Anyway, here we are.
You have caught me at a good time, my friend. For I have just come into a large sum of money.
Or rather, I will have just as soon as I collect upon a daring wager I made at Dahlhulis, the grand arena within the Tor Gardens. What a glorious day it is today. How do I feel about the Kindred of the Coins? So I think they are doing a very good job of things. They save us from the rule of the Emperor of Ordak and the Church of the Old Singing after all. Let me just say this, friend. If the Kindred was not in power, I would not feel comfortable telling you about my winnings at Dahlhulis, for fear that the Church would take my winnings for their own. I do not think any of the Kindred would do so, unless the Golden Queen is made jealous by my newfound wealth. Moklesh falls silent, considering this uncomfortable new thought. If you return to me when you have a moment, I may have some work for you. I cannot be too careful when such a large sum is at stake. Alright, this is something that I had also missed before. I have already done the side quests on my other Warden, but I just raced through them to avoid spoilers. And as you can see here, he's asking you to come back later. So there you had some clues that there will be another follow-up to this. And I'm pretty sure if I review episode 658 and my conversation with Rukân there, I would see something similar there as well.
What do I think of the Kindred of the Coins? I think they have ruled us well and fairly.
Since the war's ending, and neither the heirs of Castamir nor the Emperor of Ordak could have done better. I have heard some troubling rumors that there was fighting in the Citadel not long ago, and I hope the ones responsible will soon be apprehended. May justice come swiftly for the ones responsible. I heard there was fell magic involved. It is said a great beast with 5 heads emerged from a column of water and shook the Citadel to its very foundation, but that is not the most surprising thing I have heard. I heard each of the 5 heads bore a woman countenance, and the beauty of each was matched only by her ferocity. Yes, it is preposterous, but this is a land where surprising things can happen. I was not there and neither were you. I believe this beast sleeps, unless Azagath has already slain it. If you were a resident of this city, you would know he is capable of great martial feats. Return to me when you have a moment and we will see who knows the city of Umbar Baharbêl and who does not. Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to showing you who does and who doesn't. Maybe, no, I mean, the 5 sisters wouldn't agree on showing again just to scare this poor woman. So yeah, consider yourself lucky, then. I mean, I'm not sure if I would be that mean. It would be kind of fun, but at the same time, it would be really mean, like the end of the Silver Chair in Narnia. You remember when Eustace and Jill come back from Narnia, and they let their bullies see Aslan's back and then beat them up? It goes sort of on the same spirit. It's kind of mean, but they kind of had it coming. Although, this woman was not such a big offender as the bullies in the silver chair.
What do I think of the Kindred of the coins?
This is a
It's a difficult question for me to answer, friend.
It is true they have promised a return to peace and an increase in prosperity since they came to power and cast out the Emperor of Ordak, and it seems this will be made so. But they also promise to heed the will of the people and hear their concerns, but the meeting hall of Darlaja remains shut. Where once I saw Azagath and the other leaders of the Kindred walking through the city, that has happened less and less often of late. Where are Tatatha and her mighty hound? Where are Tumuldo and his wife Nakási? The only leader of the Kindred I see with any regularity is the dwarf Kolsek, and I do not like the look in his eye. He is plotting something within the shoreward stone, you mark my words. But for my part, I believe the Kindred has our best interests in mind. Truthfully, I would feel more at ease if they reopened Darlaja and kept their promise. As you see here, this lady is not asking for you to come back later, and as far as I know, she doesn't have a follow-up quest. I have looked with my other warden, she didn't have anything, but maybe, and they will add a new quest for her with the release of Chapter 9. Who knows? Now we gotta go to the lower ward. Alright. Let's see what we find in the lower ward then. My tea is getting cold. It started raining as well. Like, gotta finish it soon. Here.
Keep your voice down, stranger. There are unfriendly ears about.
Well, I do not know if there are, but it's better to stay on the side of caution, is it not? People say Azagath's sea shadow was driven from the Citadel by a great beast, and only the swords of Nakási Wave Reaper and Belondor of the Fleetfast saved his life. I have remained on guard for any sign of the sorceress who unleashed the beast upon the Kindred, but so far I have not seen anything. They could be anywhere. You should come back to me when you have finished your own errands for the day. I may have learned something by then. Cool, yeah, I will make sure to do so. You were not mean to me, so even if the 5 sisters were to show up again, I wouldn't set them on you. Again, I don't think they would ever fulfill that request, even if Beriathan were to make it, so it's a moot point.
Have I heard anything of late concerning the Kindred of the coins? Not really. I have been busy.
Have I heard anything of late concerning the Kindred of the Coins? I confess to you I have not paid very much attention to their dealings in recent days, for I have been much occupied with caring for my new friend Rumina. She is asleep right now, but when she wakes, she is like to cause quite a commotion, chasing either her tail or the rodents that infest the lower ward and the sail haven. She was the loyal companion of a corsair captain and sailed from port to port with him, but now that he has retired from the trade, he has given this ship cut to me. She seems quite happy with her new circumstance, but she keeps me very busy. If you check back in with me, perhaps you can help the two of us with something. That would be very good of you. Sure. Only come back later. And who do we have in here? Michael. Okay.
Stranger!
Man stares at you with piercing eyes. After a moment, you realize he's speaking to you nearly without moving his mouth. I saw a well-dressed man in blue and silver making for one of the north-south piers extending out into the waters of the Sail Haven, he says. You might go see this man. He falls silent and says nothing further. Again, we could technically I use some of our masters to go there faster, but I'm in no hurry. I am enjoying my time so much being finally able to advance the story that I want to savor this one because this chapter is quite short and we will only get a follow-up to it with update 40, which is coming, but it's still a few weeks away. I would say it's still at least 4 weeks away. You know, I could actually check when the Virtue XP is scheduled, and we can safely assume the update 40 will drop at the same time as the Virtue increase. And if I'm not mistaken, that Virtue increase will come in mid-May. Something like that. And it will also come with a legendary item increase? I don't remember. I will need to check the schedule once again. But yeah, bottom line, this is all we have to do right now, so might as well spend our time in here, enjoy it as much as we can. I mean, this chapter, once again, is quite short, but I think it would still be enough to keep us busy for 2 or 3 episodes, maybe. Is on this pier, and hopefully we can avoid the enemies in here. I really don't want to fight anyone right now. There you go. The rumor was true. Belondor has returned to the Sail Haven. So of course I already knew about this one, which was quite surprising the first time I saw it.
I saw you in the Citadel, stranger. You were there.
But I don't know what he's gonna say. I saw you in the Citadel, stranger. You were there. Were you also in the depths of Mâkhda Khorbo? Belondor shakes his head sadly. Yeah, I was there. You should remember. Well, I'm not the one who tanked Belondor, but I was there. The writing was there, but I did not see it until it was too late. There was cruelty in the Sea Shadow, as there was cruelty in all of us. But I believed it was needed against the evils right against us. The Church of the Old Sea and the Emperor of Ordak. These were foes against which we could show no mercy. The hatred I bore for Gondor. I would not show mercy to any warriors of Gondor who opposed us, but not children. The boy Thorongil was not yet a man, and Azagath would have drenched the stones of the Citadel with his blood. Nakási would have obeyed the command, and done whatever the Sea Shadow ordered. The writing was there, but even then I followed the 2 of them as they fled. In the depths of Mâkhda Khorbo, my crew paid for my inaction, my indecision. Azagath slew them with dark, unnatural magic, and their sacrifice meant nothing. Do you have a crew of your own, stranger? Do you know what it means to lose them all, and for nothing? Couple things. Yeah, well, here you have a warrior of Gondor, so if you have any anger, ditch it out. I am ready for round 2. On the other hand, I do have a crew of my own, but I haven't gotten through the pain of losing them, and I hope I never will. Closest I've been are the Rangers of the Great Company, and that was already painful enough, so yeah, I'm not looking forward to losing anybody else.
What brings you to this city, stranger? I deem you have sought me out. Why?
You tell Belondor that you have come to Umbar in the company of his old friend Sirgon. Belondor remained silent for a long time before speaking. It has been many years since I named Sirgon a friend, and it must be the same with he who is the Lord of Lebanon. Was he rewarded for his blood-red service by the Steward of Gondor? Did chasing me into the rocks of Sharak-Skin win him glory and fortune? He slew friends of mine in that pursuit, did he tell you? Has he come to Umbar Baharbêl to finish the job he began those many years ago? It would be wise to steer clear from my manor, for the wrath of Mâkhda, my wife, will be more deadly to him than all the spines of the desert, or the pointed rocks of the Shield Isle. You tell Belondor that Sirgon has already spoken with Mâkhda, and she made her opinion of him very clear. Belondor looks at you with surprise. And he did not clap her in irons? He is not here to drag us back to Gondor in chains? Has the king not sent you and he here to inflict his will upon us? If not, then why has Sirgon come here? You consider what you might tell Belondor by deciding upon the truth. that Sirgon feels the burden of his past with Belondor and Mâkhda, and he hopes to reconcile with them, if such a thing might be possible. If what you say is true, let him speak these words to me himself. I will await him at the Hungry Deep Tavern. Now be gone. I will be alone with my thoughts as I was before. I have friends to mourn. Not even a look to us. I kinda get it. Respect that, but that makes getting a picture of Belondor so freaking hard. But this will have to do. Not as hard as I thought it would be. It turned out way better than I thought. Now that we have Nakási's outfit, if you will, I actually want to check something really quick. It's on our way to Sirgon, so that's gonna be fine. I want to make a quick stop at the, I think it's the Bloody Eagle. I wanna see how good of an outfit we can make with Nakási's clothes and some of the items available at the Bloody Eagle. But let me double check that. I've been looking forward to doing this ever since I saw this was a reward for us. I mean, the swords itself that you can barter for are really cool on their own. But I'm so hoping that this would improve the outfit as well. Now, I also have another question. As you see here, it's not Nakási's tunic itself, it's just a semblance. So maybe that's why. I mean, it's a semblance, it's not Nakási's own clothes. So maybe we still haven't, I didn't miss anything else about Nakási in the raid. Just she and her crew running to the docks. Let me double check. Let me see if maybe we can create another cool outfit. Corsair themed. I mean, this one that we already have, it's fine. I mean, I love the pieces and I love the color as well. But I still wanna double check.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
It's just that I don't remember which one exactly will have the item I'm looking for. We have a lot of housing items in here. Lots of them, more than I can keep track of. Some crafting recipes. Yeah, I think it's actually the ledger keepers. Yeah.
Umbar is a free city at last.
Now talk to me. Yeah, the replicas of Nakási and Tumuldo's swords. So, just wanna try this outfit out really quick. I mean, it's a different... Ah no, it's the hand. The boots don't change, my bad. Maybe if we ditch the shoulders and find something else for the head. But what I really want to see here is the sword, because Tumuldo's sword especially is so freaking cool. I really love it. Nakási's sword, it's a little bit over the top for my opinion. But I would definitely do Tumuldo's. Not today, obviously. Only to double... to think a little bit more on it. Even if I were 100% sure of changing the outfit, I wouldn't do that on camera. I think you are far more interested in other things. And we're almost out of time for today anyway. I mean, Let's talk to Sirgon. Let's see what he has to say. What else do we need to do? But I don't think we'll have enough time for that today, which is a shame. But that'll be okay in the end. Sirgon.
You have seen Belondor? What did he say to you?
You relay Belondor's message, and Sirgon thinks it over. At last, he stipples his fingers in front of his face and closes his eyes. When he reopens them again, he has come to a decision. The Hungry Deep Tavern overlooks the sail haven, but it is located in the upper ward. Belondor's wife Mâkhda commanded her guards to slay me should I return to that place. But I would speak again with Belondor and tell him what I have come to believe. I am not afraid of Meshka's herdsmen. I would have bare my neck before them if it meant I could ease this burden from my back, Beriathan. I have carried it for too long. Will you accompany me, my friend? Let me know when you are ready to leave. Not today, because as far as I remember, that instance can be quite long. We are kinda short on time today, maybe. I don't know. I made up my mind. Anyway, that'll be all for today's episode, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.